Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing tonight? Welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. And I have a little craft, or I guess it could be considered a tutorial, but kind of a tutorial craft with me tonight. I was inspired to try this little craft by the Paper Outpost. And she made some little tiny journals or books out of little boxes. And so just by coincidence, I had bought this little pack of, these are at Dollar Tree, and they're little boxes of stickers. I don't have the label anymore, but it's just called stickers, and you can see there's a bunch in here. But there's 3 different designs, and this is going to be a little bit easier than what even she did. Hers was easy, but this is even going to be easier because we don't have to decorate the box. They're already decorated. Like this one has a little deer. This one has a little, I think that's like a little husky puppy and a penguin and a Christmas tree. And this one has a Santa Claus. So this is what we're going to make. I already made this one, and this was my first one to learn how to do it. Now I have made a little accordion book before, so it's, if you've made one, then you know how to make these. But I have made one, but this was a little different, so I just wanted to run through it and make sure I could do it on camera, if you know what I mean. So I started with the little box, and then I added the pages, and voila. I used coffee dyed pages. The Paper Outpost was using, her video was about using up your book pages, so she used dictionary pages, and then she decorated the pages because they had words on them, and she decorated them really cute, the pages and the cover. But like I said, our cover's already decorated. Front and back of these has the same image, and then I use coffee dyed paper, so it could actually be used as a little, you can write in here, you can decorate it. In fact, this one is still drying, so I'm going to push down my paper here and make sure it's straight. But I'm going to show you what I did. It's super simple. But I thought, these are so cute, I'd go ahead and just, run through what I did. So in case you want to make some, this would be a great for, I think this would be a great craft for all ages, really. Adults and kids could do this. This is so easy. And maybe you want to use these for little stocking stuffers, or at a craft fair, or for you to give to your friends and coworkers, or for if your kids want to make some. Maybe at school, maybe the teachers want to have their kids make some for a little Christmas craft, or at home you want to have your kids make some for their friends, or your friends, whatever. Just super little versatile, little fun thing here. So this is what I did. Took my box and I opened it up. So up at the Paper Outpost, her box was a little different, so I had to kind of adapt this box because her box had it where she could use the side as a spine and just cut off all of this part. I can't do that because I want my image to be straight up and down. So this is what I did to be able to use this box. So I just, first of all, just open this up. There were stickers in here. I already took the stickers out. So you just open this up, and you're going to cut off these little flaps. So we're going to do 2 at a time here, because I want to make one. I already made the Santa Claus, and I want to make, these 2 with the little puppy and the little deer. So just cut these little flaps off here, and try to get everything. When you're, cutting it, try to make it, cut straight on a little crease here, so you don't cut, because this is all going to be your cover, so you want this to be nice and straight. So I just cut it with my scissors right on the line here, and so just get on the line, that little crease right there, cut straight down the line if you can. It's a little kind of wiggly with the you've got the flaps and the other there. See, I just did it like that, and you can even that up in a minute, but you just need to be able to get your scissors inside and cut off this part. So cut off these little flaps here well, you don't even have to do that. Just open up your other flap too. I'm trying to, you know, this is my second one, so I'm kind of trying to think of the easiest way to do that. So you opened up your other flap, but you want to keep this one. You're going to keep this flap on this side. So you're just going to now cut off this top part right here. And again, cutting on the crease as best you can. And you can even this up later after you get this off here. See, now you've got it loose. So this is going to be easier to cut this one. You can cut right on that line where the top meets the flap, okay? I mean, this panel meets the top, so I just cut it off. Okay. So see, this is going to be your cover, front cover. Okay, you want this off. Kind of open it up now and get it kind of even. And you've got a little piece here. I've got a little piece here left from that flap that I cut off. So let's just cut that off and cut it all even down here, down the side. So that's all even. And so to use this box, you actually have to cut off this right here. You cut off the bottom flap too. Like I said, I'm adapting this box because I want to use this box, but it's different from the paper post box. Okay, I'll link her video down below so you can see what she did if you haven't seen her video, but this is what I had to do to be able to use this box. Okay, so you've got all your flaps off. Okay, let's just, well, you don't have all your flaps off, do we? Okay, so, no, we're keeping this. We're keeping this flap, don't forget that. I'm talking to myself now. Don't forget, Sherry, you don't cut off that flap. Okay, I mean, you've got a lot of other boxes if you buy that whole thing at, what is there, a dozen or so in there? So if you make a mistake, you know, all those boxes cost $1, so you really could experiment and make mistakes and not really have a problem. Okay, so that's the first one. Let me just cut this one, like I said, because we're going to do two, keeping this flat, but we've got to open it up to be able to cut everything off. So let me go ahead. I'm kind of still developing the easiest way to do this. I wonder, see, I just flattened it out. I wonder if that would be easier to, see, I just don't want to cut too much off of this flap, so I'm going to go ahead and do it the same way I did it. I mean, it worked the first time, right? So why change it now? Okay, another flap off. And we're going to cut this one off here so that we can get this opened up. Trying to cut on that crease. Okay, we got it opened up. We're going to cut this off here. We don't need this, but don't forget, we need that. So cut this off. We're making a book. Just remember the front cover, back cover, spine, if you get confused. Okay. I'm going to get some of these little scraps out of my way. These are adding up. Adding up here. I don't know if I'll need those for anything or not later, but I'm going to put them over there out of the way. Okay, so we're keeping this spine, and we're cutting this off. Cutting this other piece off right here. So the glue I'm using today, while I'm cutting this off, I'll tell you I'm using a glue stick. Besides these boxes, I'm using glue stick, glitter glue, and Fabri-Tac. All three are involved in this little box, for me anyway. Maybe you have other favorite glues you like to use. So now we've got this box together. We've got this box together. Get all your, make sure you have all your little, you know, flaps cut off even, front and back. We do, except for this one we're keeping. This one looks good. Okay, so make sure everything's upright. You know, upright the front, upright back, upright front, upright back. Okay, now we're going to use our Fabri-Tac to glue this front cover back on here. Not back on, it never was glued on, but because this was a flap. So, but I want it to be strong as possible, and I want it to dry kind of quick. And this is a little bit, you know, shiny, so I figure Fabri-Tac would, and it seems to be doing perfect on the first one that I made. So just put some Fabri-Tac on there. You don't want to overdo it because you don't want it, you know, oozing out everywhere. But just enough so you can get your cover on there. Still make sure it's upright, and you're going to glue your cover right back on here on this little flap. Not back on, it never was, but, and get everything even, you know, like this and like this with your spine. So kind of like look at your spine, fold this one and look at this one and make sure it's even, not sticking over the side here of your spine, which is going to be your spine. Okay. Now this one, again with the Fabri-Tac, I've got a handy dandy little wipe here in case my Fabri-Tac goes crazy or I need to wipe my hands off. So I got that ready. Okay, and this one we're going to glue, everything's upright. Let's glue this on here, make our little spine all nice and even. So cute, right? I mean, can you see it developing already? Okay, so I already need to wipe my fingers off. Okay, so let me put my lid back here so we don't have a little volcano going on. Okay, so we've got our two spines ready. So the next thing I did, now this is, like I said, I adapted it to what I wanted to do. So mine is different from the paper outpost, but the next step I did after, you can let that sit for a minute and actually go in and press this down so it's nice and tight and kind of smooth. You want it as smooth as possible where you glued that flap back on there. So do that to both. And while I'm explaining the next little step to you, I will we will let these dry for a second because this is like, I just smoothed that out. Now it's trying to move on me. So they do need to like dry for a second here. So the next thing I did, and I was working with napkins. If you saw my video last night, I was working with Christmas napkins. So the next thing I did, if you can see the outline around my paper here, that's a Christmas napkin. See how pretty that looks with that little outline there, because this inside, as you can see, is just plain cardboard. Okay, I mean, you could leave it like that, but isn't it pretty like this with the red? So I've got some napkin here that I already prepared. These are Dollar Tree napkins. I took the, you know, these were 2 layers, so I took the back layer off. So now, let's see which one we did this one first. So let's do this one with the napkin first while that one continues to dry. Make sure everything looks good. Okay, so next I did glue stick for the napkin, and I got my glue board here. Let me bring it over. I don't get glue all over my placemat. And so I mean, this is going to be covered up with some of your paper, but you still want your napkin to look nice and smooth. And even though you have a flap here, all I did was just get my glue stick glue in all of the cracks and crevices around the little flap, and I'll show you right here. So we're going to go over the flap now with glue and just kind of roll your, if you're using glue stick, I mean, you can use whatever you want. If you like to use Mod Podge, you know, just use whatever you like to glue napkins down. If you've done that before, you know what you like to use. So just, you know, I like to put plenty of glue stick on there so it does glue down nicely. Get it in all the little cracks and crevices here of this back of the cover. Okay, and the edges you want nice and sealed down, so I kind of get around the edges really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see if this is going to fit like this. There's a white piece here that I don't really want on here. Let me see if we can use this. This is just a kind of a napkin scrap that I have left from my crafting last night and the little book I just made. So, but I think it'll fit. So just put it down and smooth it out over all your glue and your cover. Okay, let's pick that up. Alright, and we're going to cut around the edges and cut the excess napkin off here. My napkin crumbs here stuck to my finger. Okay, so yeah, we're just cutting off our excess napkin on this one, and then we'll put the napkin on the other one. So I'm doing two. I mean, you could have a whole assembly line of these if you wanted to do the whole box at one time, right? I'm just doing these three right now because I wanted to try this. I thought it was so fun. I thought I'd try to do, you know, whenever I see a little Christmas thing that looks fun to have, that, you know, during the, you know, between now and, you know, December sometime in close to Christmas, I'll come on and show you little Christmas things that I'm doing. And that would be, you know, the earlier the better, then you all can make them too. And, you know, like I said, if you wanted to use them for craft fairs or whatever. So this one looks good. Everything's cut. You can see how pretty the inside is. And so let's do the other one. I don't know if we have enough left to do this one or not. Let me cut off this little strip here because it's already coming off, or partly cut off. And then I can see if I have enough to finish this, or do I need another napkin? Gosh, I think it's going to work. I want it to make sure I cover this though, because the outer edges are what's going to show once we put our paper down. See, I think I've got a little, this is just a little teeny tiny bit too small. And since I want it to be, you know, I want it to be perfect. I mean, sorry, I want it to be perfect. So I'm going to get a new piece of napkin out here. Okay, so let's put our glue on this one. Glue stick again. Okay. Yeah, I was super excited about this. I couldn't wait to get home and try it because I kind of thought about it. When did I buy these? I bought these on Monday, and I kind of been thinking about it, doing it since then, and just have had other things going on. And I said, you know, tonight I'm just gonna take a few minutes and see if I can make one of those, and you know, then share it with you all if it comes out cute. So, and I thought it came out pretty cute. So here I am, making little tiny. Now these are definitely micro mini, right? These are definitely micro mini. And so you can do this with any box. That's what I think her name is Pam at the Paper Outpost, and but that's why I'm just saying the Paper Outpost as her name, because I wasn't sure if I remembered her name. But I'm sorry, I should have wrote that down. But yeah, like she was saying, you can make any size box. So, you know, you can use these little boxes from Dollar Tree, or maybe I don't know if they have these other places. I haven't really looked for them anywhere else, or I've only looked at Christmas stuff at Dollar Tree and Walmart, I think, you know, and the thrift store. Now I'm getting glue. I need to move this off the glue board because I'm getting glue on the outside here. It's glue stick, so it should dry okay. Okay, let's get our napkin down before that dries. And this napkin is, you know, can be put any which way. So, you know, it doesn't matter how I put it on here, but if you have a napkin that needs to go in a certain direction, you might want to pay attention to that. But the napkin, like I said, you know, my napkin's going to be covered up pretty much, except for the edges, like on that one I already finished. So, you know, you can do it. You don't have to do a pattern napkin like this. You can do, any color napkin. Maybe you're not using Christmas boxes. Maybe you're using some other kind of box that you want it to match or something. So, you know, you just adapt it to your own situation and what you're working with. So we're cutting off our napkin on this one. And this, once you get going on these, it seems like it would be pretty, you know, pretty quick little craft where you could, you know, probably do a dozen of these in one night if you, you know, started early enough and just went to town, especially if you're doing it with your kids or, you know, a friend or whatever. So, yeah, I could knock these out in no time. But, okay, done with the napkin. Get that out of the way. Let me even this out. There's a little napkin sticking up here. I can get it off without cutting my cover. I don't want to cut my cover. Okay, a little napkin here. Little napkin here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, you see? You see this right here. Got some glue on there too. Okay, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm kind of going to shape my spine a little bit. I'm going to fold this here, fold this here, so you're shaping your spine a little bit. You know, it just looked like it needed to be folded. This to kind of get your sharp kind of fold there where your spine is going to be. Okay, now let's set those to the side for a second. We're going to work on our paper. Make sure this is all non-gluey here and put the lid on our glue stick. Now, what I did next was, these are just scraps from my scrap box. I've got ledger paper, some of my cranberry paper. I used coffee dyed paper in this one, so they were all scraps. And I measured this one scrap right here was actually this size. I didn't have to cut it. And I looked at my cover and I said this would fit right inside my cover. See how it doesn't go over the top? Okay. This one too. But this one, it was already this size. It was like meant to be, right? So I measured this to fit inside this box. If you're using this boxes, this is 1 3/4 inches. It's actually a little over 1 3/4 inches. It's about, let me get it even. 1 and I would say 6/8 to be exact. But you could cut it. I cut these 1 3/4 inches. Okay, I cut these two 1 3/4 inches just to make it easy. Okay, so that one that's done, I'm going to put it over here. So next, what we do is we're going to use we want to make sure our papers are sticking together, and this is the glitter glue that, you know, we're going to put on our paper strips here to make sure these stick together. So I used, in the first one that I already did, the little Santa Claus, I used 3 strips of coffee dyed paper like this. So this was from copy paper that was coffee dyed, and this is let me get it right here. This is 10 and a half, trying to see, 10 and 1/4 inches long, and I used 3 of these for that first one. Okay, so let's see what we have here. See, these are a little shorter. These are from a composition book. I can see this one's not even, so I might not use that one. I don't know, we'll see. But these are almost 7.5. So since I used 3 of those and those were longer, let's see how many. Okay, we've got, oh, well, so I've got 2 pages together here, but like I said, this one's wonky, so I'm going to cut this off. Put that to the side, okay. So you kind of want your pages to be, if possible, all the same height. You know, height is important on this little book, because you don't want it to be It just looks prettier too when they're all the same. So we're going to glue some of these together with our glitter glue. And so like this one, this is a short one and this is a longer one, but I'm going to glue it so that you see how we've got a little curve here from the composition book, how the composition book pages are, that little curved on, you know, rounded corners. I'm going to overlap those so that the roundness is incorporated into our, you know, our pieces, and so it's just all straight. So I'm going to do that, glue them together far enough up or over so that you kind of are eliminating that corner there, making sure you don't have any kind of empty spot there on the corner. So let's see if we can do that correctly now that I said it. Maybe it's easier said than done. No, it's all right. It's working. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more here because I wasn't sure how far that was going to go as far as when I actually put it down. So I didn't want to put too much glue on there. Okay, so just kind of smooth that out, and that will be drying as we finish this, gluing our strips together. It doesn't, I don't think it really matters if it's under over type of thing. You just want to get your strips glued together. This is another long one, and the corners I'm leaving them under. I mean, you could do them over or under, but since I started with them under, I'm going to keep this one under. And by that I mean on the bottom. Hope this is all making sense. Let me move this over a little bit so you can see, because this is getting very long here. And just a little bit of glue so we don't, you know, have glue going everywhere. And then again with our corners, rounded corners, we want to make sure they're, you see how this one is a little bit higher here. I'm going to leave that but make it even on the bottom. And we'll see if that has any kind of, makes any kind of difference when we make our pages, because like I said, this is only the second one I've made, so kind of still learning too. I'm still learning on this one. Okay, so got a pretty long piece here. I would say that's probably long enough. My little glue pin there. That's probably long enough, so let's let that sit for a second. I do have one more piece here, but I'm afraid it might be too much if I use that one. So let's see what we've got here with our ledger strips. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are a little bit shorter than the 2 composition book pages. Let's see how they compare to the coffee dye page that I used. And they're a little bit longer than that. So I used 3 of these in that little book. I'm trying to see. Let's look at the little book that I already did for a second. You can see how it is on all sides here. You actually have, I mean, if you were going to actually use this and maybe decorate the pages, put some little pictures in here, it could actually get kind of overstuffed if you put too many more pages than what I have in here. And this ended up being, with the 3 strips that I used on this one, this actually, I already counted the pages, it actually has 15 pages in here. So that's a pretty good amount of pages for a little book, right? So I think since these are shorter, they're shorter, right? No, they're longer. Okay, since these are longer, I'm going to use 3 of these strips and put one over here. So that should work out perfectly. So let's glue these together. So this is not a messy thing. You can use up some of your scraps, like I'm doing, or you can use book pages like the Paper Outpost, I'm sorry. Paper Outpost. that first book I did distress the book cover too on the outside. Just a little bit, just to kind of take off the white newness of the paper, or the cover. Okay, so that one we've got 3 strips glued together. We're going to put that one to the side and get this one back and put our little pin in our glitter glue so we don't lose the pin and so we don't dry out our glue. Of course, now I've got glue oozing out and I can't see. There we go. Okay. Now what you want to do, that you have your strips glued together. This one had a few minutes to dry. It doesn't matter which one we put it in, so let's try to remember now. This part I got to remember. Okay, since this is paper is all the same, you know what I mean? It has no, like she put hers up like this since she had a book page and she wanted all words. She had a book page, and you know how there's a little white section on, I think she was using dictionary pages, and there was a little white section here and then the words started. And so she wanted that cut off, that white section, so that she would have all words on her, in her book. And so she cut that off, but I don't have to worry about that because I don't have book pages. I have this paper that's all the same. So what you do is you're going to do this so that you can, like this, so you can measure your pages. Okay, so you just put it like this, say even with your book cover or a little bit in. I'm trying to think if I want it, I don't want it to go over, so I'm going to put, I have a little bit of a, can you see how I have a little bit of an edge there? Okay, and then what you want to do is go like this, you know, your spine, turn your spine up, so, and then you make a little crease here where your spine is. See right here? This is where your spine, the one side of your spine is, and this is the other side of your spine. So you've got a crease right here in your paper, okay? So that's like your first page. So just pretend like that's your first page, like that's going to be glued down. Let me just give you a little jump ahead vision here. That's going to be glued down here when you glue these pages into your little book here. So you can kind of like get an idea of, you know, what it's going to look like. So say you want it to look like, do you want it to look like that? Do you want that much room, or you want a little less room? You want it to be like that, just a tiny little strip there. This one has a curve. Do I want the curve on the bottom? Do I want the curve on the top? Let's turn it around and see. This rounded corner, do I want that at the top or the bottom? I kind of think I want it at the top. I think that would be better. So, you know, you can kind of plan a little bit here as you're doing this. See what your outcome's going to be and what it's going to look like. Okay, so I like that edge right there. It's not too big or too small. I've got it in my crease of my spine, and just make sure, yeah, right there. So I'm going to make a little fold, kind of just fold it right into that crease so you have a good crease. You know where your crease is. You don't want to lose that crease. Okay, and then you're just going to fold. And this is accordion fold. So this will take a minute or a few minutes because this is a long strip. But what you want to do, and she explained this too, you want to have your edges even, okay? Because when you're done, you want your spine even, so you can glue it down. You were going to glue this spine into the book, and you want the edges of your pages even. So kind of just be real careful, you know. I mean, it doesn't have to be super perfect, but you know, you want it to be as good as you can make it. So just you know, take your time and make your creases. You know, don't try to rush through this part because, you know, my first one came out really good, and I liked how the pages were. You can hold it up so you can see, or you can put it down, you know, and then, you know, if one is not right, you can actually kind of maybe refold it and just get it just right. So since this is only my second one, I'm probably a little bit, you know, not as fast as I would be if I had made more of these, but, you know, we're kind of just doing it together, right? So you don't have to pause because I'm going so slow. You don't have to pause. You can just do it right along with me, right? I'm not speeding ahead of you. So kind of keep your bottom and your top all, you don't want it to get whopper-jawed. You know, you don't want your pages to end up going crooked. So you keep your bottom, your top all even, your sides even, and just keep going back and forth like this until you get, you know, if it looks like it's getting even, push it, uneven, push it down, and then fold. It's not difficult, it's just you know, you don't want to go too fast and then have to unfold it and do it all over again, right? So just take a minute, take a few minutes and just get it right the first time, hopefully, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Get it right the first time. Okay. So you'll figure out your rhythm when you're making these, how you like to fold. Maybe you like to fold up in the air. Maybe you like to fold down on your table. I don't know, but I'm kind of going back and forth here, and I can see it when it's up in the air like this. It seems like a little better. I can see my edges, and then, you know, kind of going like this to make sure everything's straight. And you can kind of like hold it like this to see your edges too when you're going back and forth. You know, just turn it over and back and forth until everything is, until you get to the end and get everything even. Okay, almost there. See, I can't see it down there. I have to hold it up, it seems. I would like to put it down on the table, but I can see it better right here, right in front of me, right? That's what's working for me. Maybe you can see it on the table, but I've got glasses on right now too, so. But it's not like, I don't have, my lights are pretty decent in here, but you know, it's probably not the brightest light in the world, so you just work with what you have, right? Okay, almost there. Let me see. This one seems to be trying to go crooked, so let me straighten that out. See how my page is crooked here? Straighten it out right now before we go any further. There we go. There we go. Is it right? Yeah, everything's even. Okay, hopefully this is all going to be good to go. Okay, this is kind of short. See, my other ones came out perfectly even. See how this page is short? So, yeah. That, don't know how that's going to work out, but we will just go with the flow here. Okay, so this is how she said to figure out your spine and your page, front of your pages. So take your little folded accordion here, and the one, like, see how this is a single page right here. This is your page that's going to go on your front cover like that. Okay, so this is your spine, and this is the front of your pages. Okay, so if you have it like that, you know you have it right. This little piece is like a separate, you know, unfolded piece. Okay, so just keep it like this, so you have your spine back here for the moment. And then I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Okay, I'm going to put this down so I remember where my spine is while I open up my Fabri-Tac. And this is how she did it, and it worked, so I'm not changing it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to try to do it any differently. If you want to try something different, that's fine. It worked, and I did what she said. It worked, and so I'm sticking with it. Okay, so I've got my spine on my spine, so I know where my spine is, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn it over now so I can put glue on it. So here's my spine. And, you know, you've got it all even. Kind of hold it tight. Okay, and you're going to put some fabric tack on here. And just kind of put a layer over your spine. I know when she was doing it, I was like, maybe I want to put it on the spine of the book and then put my spine down. You could try that. But I just, like I said, I mean, I thought about it for a minute or a few seconds, and I said, you know, I'm just going to do it like she says to do it, because she's done it, and it worked for her, and if it worked for her, it'll work for me, right? So she kind of just got it all over her spine. Not too much, but enough. Okay, and this is where your little wet wipe comes in, because she likes to use her finger for a lot of things. So she took her finger and kind of smoothed it out, you know, over the spine. Even if it seems like it might ooze down in there, it's okay, it worked. And so I just went with what she said, used my finger. Okay, then I'm going to wipe my finger off, because I know how it went with the first one. It was kind of messy. So I got my little wet wipe over here, wiped my finger off right away. Turn this back over, and you still can see that my little separate piece is here. So you know we're all going in the right direction, right? We've already shaped our spine. So you're just going to put this down in the middle of your spine. And, okay, see, like I got it in the wrong place. But I guess it's not dry, so you can move it. Okay, kind of put it in the middle of your spine. All right, press it down. Make sure it's where you want it. You have, you know, a little bit of time to move it around if you need to. But kind of press it. Now she clipped hers together. I didn't feel like it was necessary to do that, but she did let it dry before she started decorating. So this looks good. I think that's where I want it. Actually, I might move it up a little bit. See if I can move it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, I think I moved it. Okay. Make sure it's pressed down. Kind of press this pages down and together, and press pages down. Press on your spine, and I think it's good. I think it's good. So to make it even sturdier, I'm going to leave my lid off my fabric tack for a second, and then we're going to do our other ledger paper one. But then you take she used glitter glue on this part, and put a little glitter glue on this first page right here, and all over, not too much, but enough because you want this to glue down to that back of your front cover. Get it? Put some on the edges, and I put some right in the crevice where that page meets the spine too. This is how I did the first one. And then you glue your page down. Okay, you see? And just gently, you know, this is a little tiny book, and you're kind of dealing with a little bit of a delicate materials here. It's not like, you know, a hardback book cover or something. So I'm just going to kind of rub over it and make it all, I want the glue to all stick under there. If you think you need to, you can use a bone folder on here, but I think my finger is good for this. I think I'm getting it down good. Okay, so that's that part. You can kind of shape it if you want and make sure it's all copacetic. Okay, so this one was the one I was kind of worried about, but okay, yeah, now I remember now. This is not going to be a problem. See how that little piece was shorter? I was worried, but actually this whole piece gets glued down, so it's not a problem. Okay, yeah, that's what the deal is with this side. that's what we're going to do here. I'm just trying to think if I need to. I'm going to put a little glue under this flap here. See how I have a flap, kind of a flap here? I don't know if the other one was exactly like this. I think it might have been a little different. But whatever, this is what I'm doing on this one. Sometimes you just have to figure things out as you go along, right? When you're crafting. So I've got, again, back in the crevice here where that page meets the spine. So I'm kind of gluing this down. Also, I just feel like that needs to be glued down. And then I'm going to put some more glue right here. Okay. And this makes your, I think this makes your cover stronger too, because you have another layer here. Another layer, you know, on your cover. So you have your box, you have your napkin, and you have paper, this piece of paper here. And this is actually kind of like a double piece of paper on this end, on this back side. So again, kind of just glue that down to your back cover. And figure out, make sure it's right in the right spot there before you finalize it. Okay, I think it's cute. Smooth it out, all around the edges especially, and really all over. Okay, so I mean, this is basically done when you get to this step, until you want to, you know, if you want to give it to somebody like this, or you want to decorate it. I'm not going to decorate these. These are just going to be, I don't know what, maybe I'll, you know, put them in a pocket, or, you know, give them with in the goodie bag with my journals. I haven't really decided, but I think they're really cute. This one has the cranberry pages, and I like it. So it needs to dry. I'm going to press this little crease right here down and kind of crease that paper right there and make it nice and flat. This one, you know, was just one piece. This was 2 pieces of paper, so that's why I did that. Let's count our pages real quick and see how many we ended up with. We got 1. I'm going to count fronts and backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If I counted right, we have 20 pages in this one. It doesn't look like it, but that's what I just counted, because I counted front and backs. Okay, so that's number 2. Let's do number 3 real quick. Maybe it'll be quick, right? So we got our ledger paper here. I kind of want to see what this ledger paper looks like. And let me, while I'm waiting, while I'm folding, I want to put my lids on. Go ahead and put my lids on my glue, because you know, my next Fabri-Tac, I'm going to try that trick everybody's passing around, where you just poke a hole in your seal, and then you don't have to worry about your Fabri-Tac becoming a glue volcano. I haven't really had a problem with that, but it has happened, so I figured I might as well just next time go ahead and just use a small hole like everyone's suggesting, and not take a chance on having a glue volcano. Okay, so we're measuring our little page that we're going to have glued down, and the size of our pages this way, again, with doing our, folding up our front cover next to our spine. You can see how it's going to look. Here, I like that edge, the red around the ledger paper. I think that's pretty. So that's going to be the size we're going to go for here, and we're going to do our folding. Let me see. See, I told you by the time I finish this one, I'll be like, okay, now I can do these. I can do them quicker now. See, I'm already getting figuring out, like, if I put it out this way, I have this whole thing stretched out. Maybe it'll be easier to fold my accordion. We'll see. I don't know. If I have it like this in front of me, going out that way. See, before I was going this way, so I couldn't see. Maybe this way is easier. Stretch it out in front of you, right? You probably already knew that. You already knew that, didn't you? I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, that does work better, doesn't it? But I kind of have to go back and forth maybe with the paper. And now I can't see on this side. I have to hold this side up. I don't know. Still figuring this out, I guess. Not sure what the easiest way is, to tell you the truth. Don't want to get crooked. Don't go crooked. Tuck our papers in. Everything tight. Keeping it tight. So I like all these different papers. You know, I think it's fun to use different papers, and also use up your scraps. I mean, y'all, I know we all have these little strips like this. You know, even though I did cut this one, you know, to fit. Still, I got to use up some scraps. So this little project is good for scraps and book pages. Like she was doing book pages, so pretty cool. And then you can make any theme you want if you use, you know, a different type of box that's not Christmassy that you want to decorate. Let's see, I think that page is going out a little bit too far. I need to even that up. Maybe even out that. It's like once I creased it, it doesn't want to re-crease. All right, I'm gonna make it re-crease. All right, there, I did it. And now it's crooked. Okay, let's do it this way. Here we go. Everything's even. I wonder what time it, wait, how long this is taking. You know what? I did a video last night and I said after an hour I turn into a pumpkin, so I'm going to have to hurry up and finish this because we're at 52 minutes. And I really don't turn into a pumpkin, but I was doing a video. I mean, my lunchtime videos are usually right at an hour, or I think one time I went to 1 hour and 2 minutes, I noticed. But nothing happened. But the other day I did a video at home and it was a little over an hour, and I was just trying to finish, you know, and then something happened and it was like poof, my video was gone. Like, what, where did it go? It was just gone. Like, what happened? If it was over a certain amount of time, does it just disappear? I have no idea. So that's why I'm like, you know, this might have to end here if I don't hurry up, because I don't want it to go poof again. And I have, it's weird because I keep my, you know, I record on my phone, but I keep it pretty cleaned off so that I have plenty of room, you know, but I am able to store approximately, I know I've had about, I don't know, I've had a lot of videos on my phone, probably at least 8, I would say. So, you know, for that one to disappear and I didn't really have any, I think I had one video on there, one other video, so it was really strange for that one to disappear. Okay, I'm trying to like get this done. So I've got my pages, the single page here. This is my spine. I'm going to go ahead and put my Fabri-Tac on here so that maybe we can finish this one before we reach an hour. I've got 7 minutes, so we could probably do it. Squish together a little bit. Make sure everything's even. I hope I don't mess up because I'm trying to rush now. Okay, I should have looked at the time before. I'll even this out when I press it into the spine. It'll get evened out. So, Fabri-Tac all over, right? Yep, I think that's enough. Put that down, finger, spread all over, wipe the finger, press it into the spine, make sure our pages are, yes, we have the single page in front. Okay, press that into our spine. get it positioned right in the middle of the spine, top and bottom. Okay, so I'm going to press it down from the inside and the outside here. Press it together. Okay, press it together, press the pages together, press it down, get it, make sure it's in the right spot. It moved a little. In the middle of the top and bottom. It's not in the middle of the top and bottom. Just a second. Okay, there we go. That is good. That is good. Okay, still want to make sure it's pressed down. I'm rushing a little so we can finish before my hour is up. We don't want any more disappearing videos. This looks really cute with the ledger paper. I like that. I like the coffee dyed paper too. I like it the way it looks on this napkin. I'm putting a little bit of glitter glue on the spine there, where that page is going to meet the because I'm rushing. I can see that my spine is not sticking yet, but you really should let it sit for a minute and get glued down before you try to finish it. That's what she did too. She let it sit for a minute or so, or maybe not even a whole minute, but just still she let it sit and get tacky and everything, and get glued down before she tried to do this stage. But I need to go ahead and finish, and I think it's fine. I'm going to press it down and make sure it's down tight on the spine. Okay, now you can see how this page is. Again, this page folded all the way back, so I'm just going to put glue on this right here next to the spine, glitter glue on the page all over, on the edges. I know it's hard to see probably what I'm doing right now because this is so tiny and I've got it holding it so that you can't see it. There we go. Now you can see it. So press it down into the spine, press it down. Let's press it down all over, edges and all over. Okay, so cute with the ledger paper, right? Okay, let's squish it together. Make sure the spine is down because you want it to look nice from here, where everything looks like it's tight against the spine. She took a little, I'll use my pin, my little glitter glue pin to show you. Like if you think your pages are not down on the spine, she took this and I think that's what she did. She took it, something like this, and just kind of pushed her pages back. You know, these look like they're all back to the spine, but anyway, I'm just showing you what she did, what I think she did. I could be wrong. So yeah, I'll link her video below this one, but we're done and we've got about 1 minute here, so I'll show you real quick what we did today. This one I did before, and you can see what the coffee dyed paper looks like in here with our little border around from the napkin. Really cute, from our little Dollar Tree boxes. And so we've got 3 little micro mini journals, and this one's my cranberry paper that I dye. Several pages there, and that's what it looks like, top, bottom, side. And then the little ledger paper one, that I think that might be my favorite. I don't know why. I think I just love ledger paper. Here's the top of it, the side, you know, the side, the bottom. It all looks good. Looks like a little book, right? And just shape, you know, you can see from the glue your pages, like this is still drawing like we just did this one. So kind of shape your book cover so it's straight, you know. These are straight. Yeah, these are nice and straight. This is probably still drying too. This one should be dry, and it looks nice and straight, and it feels, you know, that since this one's dry, it feels really sturdy. Like it feels hard. That's funny. So after it dries, it's going to feel harder. Like these feel a little still a little flexible because they're still drying. Anyway, you get the point, you get the idea. Super cute little, let me hold them up to the camera so you can see. Super cute little set. You've got a little set now of journals. Aren't they adorable? So anyway, make you some little micro minis here and just have some fun. And I'll be back. I have another idea for a Christmassy little craft that I want to show you also, but I still have to try it myself. So I'm going to try it myself, and then I'll come back with that one another day, probably later in the week. So thanks for watching tonight, and I will see you later. Happy crafting!